How's it going, fellas? My name's Andy, and today we're gonna take a look at a short and strange war that happened in the early 1900s. It was one of the most ridiculous wars ever fought in history, mainly because of the way it started. So I'll give you some context. In the early 1900s, Greece and Bulgaria were both relatively new independent countries. They were no longer being controlled by the Ottoman Empire, so they had their own government now. However, the two countries did not get along, and they had a lot of disputes over the possession of territory, specifically in the Macedonia region. Of course, this led to a couple of conflicts between them. One of them was the Macedonian struggle from 1893 to 1908, where the Greek and Bulgarians would spend years fighting with guerrilla warfare tactics, trying to take control of the land. Later on in 1913, the Second Balkan War broke out, which was caused by the disputes over territory from the First Balkan War. Then in World War I, the conflicts continued as more battles broke out around the area. All of these conflicts built up a ton of tension between the Greek and Bulgarians, and ultimately it led to one of the most ridiculous wars ever in 1925. The War of the Stray Dog. Yeah. The official name was called the Incident at Petrich. So, Petrich is a very small town. Nowadays, it has a population of about 30,000, and it's located in the southwestern part of Bulgaria, very close to the border near Greece. What happened was, apparently there was a Greek soldier stationed at the Greece-Bulgaria border, and he had a dog, who he really loved. All of a sudden, his dog ended up running north for some reason, across the border and towards Bulgaria. The Greek soldier panicked, and without thinking, he chased after his dog. He ran straight into Bulgarian territory, and unfortunately, he got shot down and killed by a Bulgarian guard. The rest of the Greek guards in that area saw what happened, and they started to open fire against the Bulgarian guards on the other side. The captain on the Greek side tried to calm everything down, trying to get everyone to stop firing. But then, the Bulgarian guards took this opportunity and shot down the Greek captain, killing him as well. So, all of the casualties have so far been on the Greek side, although nobody even knows what happened to that dog. The next day, this incident was all over the newspaper, and even though it might not have seemed like a huge deal, it still was. After all of the tension that built up over the years between Greece and Bulgaria, even the slightest incident like this would lead to a major conflict, and that's what happened. General Theodoros Pangalos was the prime minister of Greece at the time, and he gave Bulgaria an ultimatum. They had to punish the guards who were responsible for the deaths, give an official apology, and then pay Greece 2 million French francs as compensation for the victims' families. But of course, Bulgaria just refused to do any of this, which led to Pangalos ordering the Greek troops to take over Petrich and the surrounding areas. Petrich, which was Bulgaria territory, was now completely occupied by Greek soldiers. Although the Bulgarian government was initially filled with regrets and tried to explain to Greece that it was just a misunderstanding and an accident, the guards did not mean to kill the Greek soldiers at the border, and frankly, they didn't even think what happened was actually true, so they wanted an investigation. However, Pangalos and Greece firmly rejected the investigation and continued to occupy Petrich. The Bulgarian citizens and troops in Petrich attempted to fight back, but it was difficult. The town suffered a lot of destruction and damages, and the civilians were in constant danger and could not even leave their own house. Yeah, it was getting pretty bad, and Pangalos had no intentions of withdrawing his troops until the demands of his ultimatum were fulfilled. The Bulgarian government was desperate for more support, so they asked for the help from the League of Nations, which was an organization basically like the United Nations, but an older version. The League of Nations agreed to help them, and they sent a ton of military reinforcements to Petrich to fight back, killing a lot of Greek soldiers in the process. With the League of Nations having the upper hand, they issued their own ultimatum. Everyone from both sides must cease fire, Greek troops must leave Bulgaria, and Greece must pay Bulgaria £45,000 for all the damage they inflicted during their assaults. With his back against the wall, Pangalos reluctantly agreed to leave and withdrew all of his troops. Roughly 50 Bulgarians were killed, and most of them were civilians, while over 100 Greek soldiers were killed. That sums up the story of the War of the Stray Dog, a quite funny yet ridiculous way to start a war. Even after the war was over, nobody knew what happened to the dog. It ran across the border into Bulgaria and nobody saw it again. I think this story just shows how bad the two countries' relations were during the early 1900s. Territory was a huge deal. Everyone wanted more land because it meant more power. This incident with the dog was just the tipping points that blew up an already heated rivalry between Greece and Bulgaria. Anyway, that's all folks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.